Good morning again, my YouTube family and friends. Good morning wherever you are this morning. Whatever you're doing at this moment, I lift you up and remind you that we're still here. It's a sort of a dreary day for me. It's a sort of just a sort of. The key word is sort of. It is such a, I don't know if it's a gloomy day. As an educator, I'm sitting here, and from the other day I've been watching the news, listening to the news, and the hurricane and everything else. But in the midst of that, we had the stabbing of that student at Kingston Technical High School. We have so much going on, but that one stands out for me. And as I looked, and I was going through some things because I needed a picture because I'm not in Jamaica, but I was looking at the knife. I saw on one vlogger's channel where they had the picture of the girl holding the knife in her hand and people standing around her. And they stood around, and I guess they weren't thinking that she was going to use the knife. Maybe she just wanted it to be a fear tactic. Maybe they thought that even if she stabbed the girl, it would be a lesson learned and nothing would have come of it. Because nobody took the knife. Nobody, they allowed her to move from point A to point B with that knife. And the outcome is that another student is dead. And I've read so many comments about the girl who did the stabbing. And this morning I woke up, and after I said my prayer, I got up, and my bedroom needs to be, I need to wash the linens and straighten up the room. And I started. And then I knew from last night that Donnie was going to be going away to do a welding job with a guy. And I know I'm going to have to cook today, which I didn't want to do, right? But I'm going to bake a chicken. I'd have loved some curry chicken today, but I'm going to bake the chicken. And I'm not doing rice and peas. I'm going to make some mashed potatoes because I find that salt is a necessary commodity. And I find that I have to skip around and kind of stick with the foods that are tolerable without the salt. And I find that rice, even though, but I'd rather have some ground provision, a piece of yellow yam without salt. The mashed potatoes are my best friend. Even if they're just boiled and not mashed out, I like them. So today, because he's not here, I might not even mash them. I'm thinking, because sometimes you can just peel them and let them bake along with the chicken. So I might do something like that. Because again, today is a heavy lifting day. You got to clean up the house. You're going to do some laundry if you need to. I'm also going to have to get ready for school for tomorrow and the week, right? So I'm here, but I had to take a break. And we have to take moments of silences to wonder what's going on. And this morning, as I'm going back and forth and I'm thinking, I said, Yes, everybody looks at that little girl. She's fat. She's not, she doesn't have the long flowing hair, and you see the roughness in her. You see, for me, I did behavioral science. I'm no expert though. But when I looked at her, I see a child who was not very loved, a child who probably have to be fighting to survive, a child who probably is so abused that she doesn't even understand what love and kindness is. I looked at the picture and I see a child who represents many children who come to us in the classrooms every day. And when you listen to their stories, sometimes when you look at their behaviors and when you eventually hear their stories, your heart aches. Because many of them, they have not grown to love and appreciate anything. Because from an early age, they have been abused, they have been molested by family members, they have been despised by family members. And so they just, with their backs against the wall, they just feel that they have to keep fighting and fighting because they'll never understand what love is. So I don't know the story, I don't know the people, but I just see everybody so, the poor girl who died. What happened? What led to such a vicious attack? What led up to all of that? And I'm just asking a question, because when I looked at the other girl, you can see that she is a beautiful girl as people might have looked at it. A lot of people evaluate beauty only on the outside. Only on the outside. They only look at the face and the hair and and the clothes, and they say, oh, beautiful. But some of these faces and these well-dressed and these, able to buy the wigs and the weaves and all those things are some of the harshest people you can deal with. I look at the girl who did the stabbing and I said, was it a long time antagonizing, name-calling, shaming, disrespecting? Because a lot of people feel empowered when they have the massive behind them. Their parents can afford this and can afford that. And so they have the massive behind them. And those little fat, stocky, dry-head ones, they only have themselves to defend and to be there for them. So sometimes when the fights start, the cheering is not for the ones who doesn't look like the models. The boys are on the side of the long hair, skinny. And everybody wants that one to beat up the one who doesn't fit in. And then the one who doesn't fit in retaliates. And I'll tell you this story, people. Because as a child growing up, I was a stocky kid. And as I said to all of you, I'm not ashamed, because whatever I went through as a young child, I have risen up and I've put all of them to shame. All of those who didn't appreciate me for what I looked like, I didn't make myself. But there were people who you thought would have appreciated you and guided you well and support you and encouraged you, who never did. I went to school. My grandmother never put me in anything fancy when I went to school. My grandmother encouraged me to be educated. And so for me, going to school without the shoes, going to school with just my hair braided up. Granny never bought a beret. She never bought not even a hairpin to put in my hair. Granny bought ribbons for me and reminded me to be a child. And so I never forget, 2 hairs in the back, 1 in the middle, and 3 in the front. That was my hairstyle for days until I was a teenager. No straightening comb in your hair. No this, no that. Go to school, be satisfied with what I can give to you, and go to school and learn. Those were the words of my old grandmother. Thank you so much, Granny, wherever you are. And she taught me to be loving and kind, and I thank her for those things. But as I went through and I'm running to school and I'm going through the mud, and sometimes you run through the mud after it rains, or during the rain, and your little uniform back, it's all splashed up because as you're running in the dirt, the mud. Your little back of your uniform is all splashed up. You got to go home. You got to wash that. Because you can't go back to school with the dirt. You can go with your dirty feet, but you can't go in with the dirty uniform. But I remembered a young lady, Judith Brumley. Judith, her parents worked at the Bauxite Company in Nain, St. Elizabeth. And Judith, long flowing hair, very light complexion. And her parents had it. She had a mother and a father. She had brothers who also worked at the Bauxite Company. Because in those days, it didn't matter if you could read or write. Somebody works there, and you know they're going to pull you in. And they had the complexion and the curly hair, so they got through. But I remembered how Judith, sometimes she was nice to me, but 9 out of 10 times they weren't nice at all. And there was a young girl, Carmen. I won't say her last name. But Carmen was right up under Judith. And if I'm standing somewhere, Carmen would move and go sit somewhere. Go, just very harsh. I did nothing wrong to them. But this girl was always up. Judith had money and would be able to buy an ice cream when the ice cream bike comes into the schoolyard. And so Carmen was always where Judith was. And now, when I grew up, I understood what bullying was. But I didn't understand it then. You just stay in your corner because when you see them coming, you move out their way because you didn't want them to say something to you because your feelings was hurt. And one evening we're going home because my uncle's child's mother had a daughter there who, she got mad when she said, Granny is not feeding you for people to take set on you. And she said that evening we were walking home together and Carmen was there. Judith had gotten a ride home, so Carmen was by herself. And my cousin said, this evening you're going to make an example out of her. And she took my books up, my thing up my hand, my book, and she says, no, you're going to make sure that Granny's food is not going in vain. And we had to fight. And I remembered I'm a short girl. I've only raised up to 5'2" in my adult age. So at that time, I probably was maybe 11. So I was short, I was stocky. And the other girl took Carmen's stuff, and Carmen was so sure that she was going to beat me down because that's all she was doing all this time, just frightening me. And every chance she got, she was. But that evening when I shut my 2 little eyes and I just closed my and was just punching. I was just punching and punching and punching. Just punching. I was just throwing the fists, just throwing them. And I remembered when I heard the girl said, you see how you knock out my teeth? You see you knock out my teeth? And she started crying. But let me tell you what that fight did. From that day onward, Carmen tried to become my friend. Carmen never frightened me anymore. She never She never pushed me out the way anymore. She never did one of those things. Because I grew up, I didn't learn to fight. I learned to read and write. And now, as I look at the situation, I am saying this morning, people, sometimes when people are pushed down, when it becomes that boiling point, when people, whether it's a marriage, whether it's just a relationship, whether it's with your children, the way we talk to them, the way we treat them, it will get to that boiling point when they lash out. It will get to that point. Is that the right thing to do? I don't know what to tell you. I can only say we need to teach our children to love. But how often have we taught them to love and they try to walk away? But you still have those people who will follow them around, who will taunt them and ridicule them. How often? So what do we do? I think of some kids who, I didn't have a mother, I didn't have a father. And you have mothers who sit back and say, oh, the worthless man gone, left me with one with a picking of them, and every day me one, and those words resonate with the children. The children are growing up and the children become bitter. But if we look at how life should be, let us not forget that men are supposed to be hunters and providers. We as women are supposed to be the nurturers. We are supposed to soften the anger in our children. It's rough, yes, but I raised 3 by myself. 3. 2 girls the same age, they're twins, and 1 boy. Was it easy? No, it wasn't. But I didn't sit around and complain. I got up and I do. I got up and I work hard so they could see that working hard is a must. I got up, I went to school so they realize that your education is a must. I got up and I own things so they see that mother have, father have. Blessed is a child who have for their own. So let us lead by example. Let us, there are some things that we just can't avoid. But let us, as we go out there, teachers, you're in the mix too, because we got to pick our battles. Sometimes teachers, we walk up and we don't know children. We don't know them. But something happens and we don't take a moment to stop with a soft voice and speak. We're so quick to lash out and to show our power, and sometimes a soft answer take away the wrath. Sometimes kids just don't like us because we represent somebody they don't like, somebody who has been abusing them and treating them so badly, so they cannot find respect and love for us. Sometimes no matter how much kindness you do to them, no matter how much you give to them and how much you do, they don't know how to appreciate it because they weren't taught to appreciate kindness. So what do we do? How do we fix these things? Because I am puzzled. A young lady now is in jail, and what do you say? You know she'll never walk free. You know no one is going to understand her part of it. Because just looking at her, I can tell. Just looking at her here and looking at her, just looking at her, the anger. I just know that we can only pray that God will send someone Just send someone, and that somebody will look at the big picture instead of just looking at that knife and looking at her using that knife. We just have to pray and hope that somebody will look at the big picture and evaluate it honestly and fairly. And I won't say fairly because fair for some people is not what it should be, but we hope that they'll be at least reasonable. We hope that she'll get the counseling she needs and that she'll not be just thrown into jail to rot. I know that the mother whose child is gone, her pain is real. But sometimes when we hear our children on the phone and we hear them bullying other kids and we hear them with the hype and we need to tone them down. We need to let them know it's not the right way. But sometimes as parents, we create the monsters we create. Because a lot of times when the kids come home with, yeah, I'm not da-da-da-da-da-da, you make sure none. And we encourage our children to be mean and ugly to other people. We think it's cute. We think it's okay. But it's not okay. It's not cute. We are not our children's best friends. We are their guides. We are parents. We should be correcting children and guiding them in the right way. We shouldn't be laughing with them and be proud of them when they are negative and repulsive. My people, listen to me. Our children are supposed to be our future. They shouldn't be 6 feet under, and they shouldn't be behind bars. They are our future. They should be our lawyers and doctors and teachers and motivators and presidents and they should be taking over the world and leading. They should be rising up against poverty and all of the abuse and neglect. They should be the powerhouses. But yet, the saga continues. Our young men are thugs, they're robbers, they're killers. They're not even killing like before. They are so, the deaths are so gruesome. They're so unnecessary. You just see that they're not normal. There's no normalcy in things anymore. People don't just shoot somebody and they drop dead and they know they shot them in the head and they're dead and they leave it alone. You listen to and watch some things in Jamaica and you wonder, why are they so, I don't even know what to say. They're overkilling. They cut somebody's throat, but they still pump bullets in them, or they pump bullets and they still cut the throat. Why? What is wrong? Where have we gone wrong? What is propelling our children to be so vicious, so mean-spirited, so angry that they can't hit somebody and it's done? Where are the conflict resolutions that should start in the home? You have parents of children and kids are having issues and they're taking sides and they're encouraging one child to beat down the next child or to lock him out, don't let him cut. Where are the tools that we're giving our children? I am so confused, it's not funny. And because I don't understand it. I see sometimes kids are suspended from school and instead of parents take the kid and talk to them about why it's necessary to go to school, kids come back in brand new $100 sneakers. We talk to parents about the phone and the use of phone. A lot of times that phone can become so detrimental. But it's a fighting battle. Because you take the kid's phone and the parents come tell you, oh, my child needs a phone. And you're looking at, instead of you working with me and then teaching the child how to use it responsibly, you are coming. You have parents who are even texting their kids during school time, even though the school's handbook tells them we shouldn't hear the phone, we shouldn't see the phone. The school has a phone number. The classrooms have phone numbers. So if you need to reach out to your child, call the office. They can connect you to the child's teacher. The child's teacher can pass on a message to your child. How is it that we grew up? I look at where I used to run from to get to school in the mornings. And before I get to civilization, to the parochial road, there were a couple houses in between. But where I had to run through, I laugh nowadays because, oh my God, I went through those times and nobody ever frightened me in the bushes. Nobody. You were able to get to. And I mean, but today, oh, the kid needs a phone. I'm sorry. The kid needs a phone. But we grew up without phones. We grew up without nothing. And we're here. We're educated. We're responsible. We're loving. We're decent. We're kind. We've raised children. When my daughters went to college was when they got their first phones. When they went to college. Christopher got his phone a little earlier when he was 15. And his 15th birthday. But you wonder, how is it that we manage through these things? And we ran through those woodlands, those places. I remember some mornings when Granny had to run to the shop and run back home. And so we didn't have a clock to tell us the time. But there was an airplane that passed every morning. And we always time it and say, oh my God, that's 8 o'clock. We know school starts at 8 o'clock, so we know that we're late when that plane passes us on our way to school. And we have to run like crazy. Sometimes when I come out, when I have to go to the shop in the mornings, go down to Miss Daisy's shop, and when you go to Miss Daisy, she just come out of the shop to open it, and Granny need cooking oil, and the cooking oil at the time used to come in a tin pan. It used to come in a big tin. And Miss Daisy have to come and light paper and heat up the oil. Heat up the oil and so you could get your half pint of oil and run back through the bush them. For Granny get it for fried 2 dumpling. Sometime by the time I wash up my foot, wash up myself. Because when we say bathe, it's a bucket you get with your water. You wash off yourself and quick and fast. And you get ready and you have to get one dumpling, and Granny say, eat it, go on, missus. And you run and you skip and you walk fast and you run and you walk. And you eat your dumpling and you run and you walk. But you were going. You went home. I'm not going to school today because me late already. No, you can't get beaten when you go to school. Because Mrs. Farquharson, Jesus. That woman, she died now. She lived in Pepper after she left Springfield. She just loved to beat. Her 2 boys never got to slap, but man, I never, listen. But we were there. We weren't fighting, oh, we can't do this, we can't do that. We get up and we got to go. And today parents just sit back, and they just sit back and let the kids rule, and let the kids lie, and let the kids cheat, and let the kids do these things. But the little things, the little tribute of water running, it opens up in the big sea, big seas. They open up in the rivers and then into the sea. So the little things today become big things tomorrow. Little lies become bigger lies. So people, look, it's tough. We can't figure out some things, but some things we can figure out. And teachers, as you go out and teach, remember, pick your battles. Pick your battles, because you know what? It's not everything sometimes need to be a struggle, a power struggle. Husbands and wives, pick your battles. Wives, don't open your mouth and just say what you feel to your husbands. It's better for you to be quiet around each other. You're getting things done, and there's no disrespect. And there might be minimal conversation, but let it be good conversation. Don't let it be put downs and disrespect, because the kids emulate these things. And when they see that you are disrespectful to your partner, don't think that they're going to make it look like, oh, no, they adapt it. And then they go out in the world and they can't have good relationships because what? They figure that the way you teach them at home is the right way. So let us remember that the things that we do at home, it evolves into other things as children walk out of your homes. So let us set good examples, people. It's not about the gifts. It's not about all those things. It's about how you talk to one another, how you treat one another. It's the examples you're setting for the little ones. It's as they grow older, it's how firm you are. It's the tough love that you give to them. It's what you put in their heads. If you teach them that hard work is necessary in order to become, it's going to work. If you teach them that it is a good thing to get your education, they will adhere to it. But if you let them feel like, oh no, you don't have to, I'll do this for you, I'll do that for you, oh, then they don't need to do. And as they get older, when people not doing for them, then they hate people. They become bitter and they become hateful. Because they grow up with this gimme mentality. Me wah. And so they don't learn independence. They don't learn strength. When you're not independent, that's how you deal with a lot of negativity, a lot of abuse in relationships. When you're independent and you empower yourself with certain things, you go forth and you can learn to give love and you can learn to appreciate. And regardless of what's going on, you can still be present and smile because you know what? I'm okay. But when you're not independent and when people will be quick to put you down because they know you need them. When you're independent and they know you can walk at any time, it's a different setting. And I know I'm just talking, but I'm just hoping that you find a message in what I'm saying. Guys, pick our battles. Let us lead by examples. Our children, they're not animals who were born today and tomorrow they get up and have to be. There's a reason why we have to take care of them until they're 18 years old. There's a reason for that. And so as we are doing the caring, let us nurture. Let us not be so aggressive around them, but let us nurture the thing. Let us give them, empower them with the wisdom and the morals that they need to respect other kids, to respect elders, to respect even themselves, because a lot of kids don't even have a value on themselves. You hear them open, I don't care. No, you do care. So you're going to be tough, but you're going to support and encourage. You're going to be tough, and sometimes you turn your back and the tears roll out your eyes. But you turn your back and you walk away and leave them there to think about what just happened. And you go somewhere and go get yourself, go regroup. But don't sit down and let kids feel like they're in charge. Because anytime you release that power to them, you'll never take it back. So people, I'm just begging you, fathers, you're supposed to be providers for these children. So you might not get along with the mother, but don't let your children go hungry. A lot of relationships that don't work for whatever reasons, because it's a different thing when you're out there. Man, you look so nice, you know, man. We just and the looks, but when the looks are gone, then where did the love go? Like when you walk in a man, you look so nice when you walk. But when the walk not there anymore, what happened? The love gone? You know, boy, you have such a nice smile. Yeah, something knock out the teeth, them I know the smile gone. So let us not like people for outward things, but let us like people for who they are inside. I love you because when I needed a cup of tea, you made sure that I got it. I love you because you listen to me when I have a situation and need somebody to listen to me. So if we nurture those kinds of characteristics, then you know what? Even though we're not in love anymore, we can still be, we can still coexist. As a special person said to me, he said, and years ago I would say, oh my God, you have your nice wife over there, who are you? And he said to me, says, well, he said, no one person has everything to make any other person happy. No one person has it. You married to somebody and when you were courting, you never knew that they couldn't cook. You never knew that once they feel comfortable, all that they're going to want is to have a TV or a phone with the thing on it, and that's all that made them happy. You never thought that after a while, they never see you, they never hear you in the mornings when you wake up and you get in that bathroom and have to, the coughing and the sneezing and the blowing and all of that. And then they get to it and they don't know how to handle it. Instead of laughing out loudly, some people never pass gas in front of their partners. But those are natural things. It's not something that you create and then it happens. Passing gas is natural. We just have to learn to laugh about it and make a smart joke about it, and people laugh out loudly and keep it moving. It's not that serious. If we look at the good things and use it to have your good laughter and what have you, a lot of things that people are fussing and fighting about, they would never fuss and fight. Some people have never smelled a sweaty arm and now they come and they smell a sweaty shirt and they feel like, oh my God, so gross there. A lot of people who didn't have anything, once they become and they get a college education or they get all of a sudden everything grosses them out. But those were the same things that provided the platform for you so you could rise up and become. You know, some people coming out of a one-bedroom where all of them used to be 3-4 of them on one bed, and now they come and they're able to work together and get a nice little house or get a house, and all of a sudden everything is I know people who husbands can't even walk in the house in their shoes. I said, oh my good God, what if you have a house and you cannot enjoy it? What's the use of it? So I'm just saying, guys, I know that you might think, oh, but I'm telling you these things to let you understand that the things that we are teaching our children, the kids are seeing these things, are those things that they take out in the real world and throw it on other people. So let us learn to be respectful. Let us learn to be kind. You don't put down your partners in front of children. They say something you didn't agree with it, walk away. Shake your head, walk away, and just leave it alone. In the time come that you want to address it, you just say, look, when you said this or when you did this morning, I felt so disappointed. So if the other person is an idiot, who cares? Then they're the idiot. But anytime you go and talk about me sick and tired every day, you come tell me this and you treat me like I'm a girl in I'm a boy in and you start them kind of conversation, it not going to know about it going to get escalated, and then the people them going to get involved, and the people them going to start take sides, and them going to start be disrespectful to somebody who them not like, and the person who are trying to hold them accountable for things, they are the people that kids always push back at. Because they have the other weak one around the corner and I tell them, say, look here, now listen to him, come, see you something here. But just know when you're co-parenting that everybody has to be on the same page. Otherwise, you're going to have messed up kids. Everybody have to be on the same page. Even if you don't agree with what daddy said, walk away. Go in a corner when you put me asleep or something. I say, boy, you did tough with him this morning. But when we came, well, maybe we could do it that way instead of being just. But not stand up before picnic and put down the next partner, because that's what the kids want. And when them behave these ways, then you can't control them. And then the end result are the knife or the gun. Because when they can't get them way, when them go out to some people push back and say, not in here, them go out there and then pick up the knife or the gun and then come back. So let us build those good things, people. Let us build. Let us not take people for granted. Don't take people because of how they look. Please appreciate what people bring to the table, not how they look. Because believe me, a lot of us with the meat on our bones, we bring a lot more to the table than many of those who look like. Because those who are all dolled up and all this and that, it's about themselves. It's about themselves. A person who is out there, they might be struggling with their weight, but it's okay for them. But I guarantee you, if you need a candy, that person with the weight probably have a candy because, because maybe that's what made them gain the weight. But putting all fun and joke to the side, because this is a somber day, it's not something to laugh about, because we're losing our children, whether to the coroners or to the jail cells. We're losing them. Some of them can't take the stress anymore. They can't take the abuse and all of that. And they're taking their own lives. Some of them feel like because them not look like Jane and them not have and them not this and them feel worthless. Teachers in classrooms, a lot of you teachers do it too with children. Because they don't look a certain way, you don't feel like they're worthy of anything. They're talking to you, you don't want to hear them. You're doing anything in class, you pick out those little nice ones and you leave them alone. You're doing a project, oh, Mary and Jane and Julie, I want to see. And you leave out the other ones, and even if they can't do it at the moment, teach them. Get them involved and teach them so they can build their self-esteem. A lot of these kids out there, they have no self-esteem because everybody's pushing down. It's just pushing, weighing down on them. You, why you standing by? I was doing, get into class. Look at what the child looks like. But look at the other little one out there whose mother dropped her off in her little Benz or her little whatever. And she'll be standing there for the whole duration of the class time. And oh, hi, how are you today? What happened? You need something? Okay, well, when you finish going into class, you see them on their phones, you see them doing the things they shouldn't do, but you're so nice to them. But the other little poverty-stricken kids who have nothing, who they're barely making it to come in, we're tough with them. They shouldn't sit there and move from there. Why are you over there? Get up, move. We need to stop it. We have to stop it, people. We must treat people's children. And when we go in, as educators, we go in with so many different hats. So many different hats. We have to be careful. We have to be careful. Pick our battles. Stop tit-for-tatting and find out what is going on. A lot of kids are coming in with, I'm telling you, with the struggles. The struggles are real. Some kids are developed more than their age. And I'm telling you, there are worthless people out there, whether it's because of drugs or they just were abused themselves, that they're out there abusing these little children. We have to be able to detect things and guide them to who they can talk to because they're hurting. And sometimes the only end result is to end it for themselves or to end the abuse from whoever is abusing them. So today, as you go forward, people, please remember to like the videos. And I know I'm not doing fancy things. I'm not videotaping dead people and showing it to you to get thousands of views. And the channel is growing little by little. The views could be better. So please share them, people. I'm telling you, I feel good when people are watching and are saying that, you know, they felt uplifted. Um, Michael, I don't know what has happened to you. I hope everything is okay where you are. You used to be a regular. I know you mentioned something the last time, but I'm just hoping that you're okay where you are. All of you people, Ernestine, Maurice, Erin, Mojo, Jojo, Terrian, all of you regular constant people. Jet, you joined, you became a member. Thank you so much, Jet. And thanks to all those others have been members and are constant. Ernestine, you have been a member. You fought so hard to become a member. You're consistently there supporting my children. I'm praying and I'm hoping that the channel will reach more people and that people will feel uplifted. Bev Brown, thank you so much for always being present. No matter what, you're always present, leaving your comments, making me feel so good, appreciating what I do. Maurice Kingpin, thank you so much, always present. Sometimes you make me laugh out loudly when you would watch the video, and it shows that you watch the entire video, because some of the things that are in the end of the video you recognize and would talk about it. I thank you guys so much for your unending support. Who else has been a regular? I know that people have been coming. Minalva, my cousin, thank you. Haven't seen you sometimes, but I know you're busy. AG, I know that you're busy. And I know how things are in your neck of the woods this time of the year. But you find the time to listen and to even read go to the community page and respond to something. So I appreciate you guys for your undying support. Carla Rice, thank you. I see you coming back again, and all of you guys who have been there. Carrie Ann in Jamaica, thank you. I see you. My niece Latia Moore, I've seen that you're back and supporting. I better not forget anyone. My new subscribers who are always there, Alima too, we should tell you I'm first in the house. And I know my children do watch, but they don't comment often. I wish they did comment and would say, "Mommy, that was a good topic," or "Mommy, you could have added this," or ask a question. I wish they were more involved, but they're not social media people, and so I can't fight them for that. But Grayson, thank you for watching and reaching out to Grandma. Grayson will tell you, subscribe, like, and share. But today was just a day that I just had to talk and to just talk. So thanks to all of you who are supporting, and please share the video so that others can join on, and so the channel, take me to 2,000 subs, people. Take me to 2,000 subs. Right now we're at 1,807. So help me get there. If you can't be good, be careful, but walk good. Teachers, it's not easy, but walk good, do good. Listen to the children, support the children. Parents, train up the child in the way they should grow, so that when they get old, it will not depart from them. Spare not the rod and spoil these children. Do not spare the rod. Not sparing the rod doesn't mean that you are beating them. It just means that you got to be strong with them. You have to not be their best buddies, but you have to be their parent. So don't spare those rods and spoil these children, because it is getting worse. It's not a good look. So if you can't be good, be careful, my people. But please walk good, do good, live good, say good. At the end of the day, let us teach them how to pray. Let us remind them that there's a God, the God who made heaven and earth, and whatever you aspire him to be, just know there's a supreme being out there. And it's not about going to church, because that it's not going to save anybody. It says in order for you to be saved, you got to believe. Believe that God is a God. So we get up when we're going to church, and we're getting baptized, and that's not going to save us. That's nothing. We have to change who we are. And if we believe that there's somebody up there who have taught us how to pray, how to love, how to worship, how to tell us our children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. He taught us all of these things. He came in the flesh and he lived so that we can live. And so let us stop talking about we're going to church and we're going to this and we're going to that. Just understand the reason why church walls were built. Just understand those things and stop being so, stop acting like we don't know. You get into church and they're passing around 6 plates. We know that. This is not what church is supposed to be. Church is about getting healing the sick, feeding the hungry, right? Taking care of the fatherless and the motherless and the widows. Those are things that you are supposed to do. Don't go sit in and feel like you've done your work. You just get up and go to church. Stop it. Let us get out there and find the children who are struggling and help them so that they can change their wicked ways. Go out in the highways and the byways and go do what we need to do. Stop, go sit up in a church and feel like, oh, I've done my part. I've done diddly squat. Again, if you can't be good, be careful, but walk good, people. Do good, say positive things. Uplift people. Don't push people down. Uplift. Share with people. Talk with people. And when I say share, don't you have people who sit out there because they hear you talking about giving back. I give back every day to my students and to the people that I can do. But some people just feel like because you're just doing these videos, you're saying that they just feel like, no, if you have a job, budget what you have so that it can maintain you. I don't want people going around and, oh, reach out to Miss Bev and she didn't. Don't do that. I am so for people who don't have. If you have, there's some people with jobs and yet they're making it seem like they're so, because they want something. Because they just want something. It's no need. When I have parents right here at school who have children, 2, 3 children coming to school, they're the people that I'm focusing on. The other day I had 1 snapper left and I froze it and I brought it in and I had this like a student at the end of the day that I had him. And when he came, because I froze it and I wrapped it in the foil, when he came, it was still frozen. And I called him because he comes, he's so quiet, he don't bother people, kids sometimes pick on him. But I would always get on them, but he's so helpful. He comes in and I greet them at the door. He goes straight to the cupboard. He takes out everybody's books and he puts them out. He puts my pen on the thing to make sure I had something to write on under the document reader. He is just that kind of little boy. And I have to always encourage and say, I love your attitude. Don't change. Be kind-hearted, be loving. When I gave him, I said, by the way, so-and-so, I have something for you. And he came to my table and I took it out and I handed it to him. It was like the kid was so joyful. He was so joyful. So those are my focus, people. Please understand it. Those things are my focus. When I ask you to even give $1 to my channel or whatever you guys contribute, I have a WhatsApp, I have PayPal. If it's even $1 you guys contribute, believe me, it goes towards my children. I'm going to pan this camera around real quickly so you can see. You see those things on my table, the Welch's fruit snacks? You see the Ritz crackers? There are 3 boxes there for the children. The vanilla waffles are down there. And in the living room on the thing, I have a whole bag of things. So this right there you're looking at, it's over $100 I spent this week to get these things so that I have something to keep replenishing for the children. Because they're coming in and they need it. By the end of the day, they eat lunch at 11. By the end of the day, believe me, some of them are really, some of them, the only food they get is the breakfast in the morning and the lunch in the evening, in the midday. There's nothing more. They go home and they need to go to bed because it's what it is. So my focus is not about whatever. I have projects working on. I work on those projects because they're worthy to be worked on. But people, understand this. Don't talk negatively about Miss Bev because Miss Bev didn't honor something. My focus is for those who really need it. That's my focus. And so I will leave it at that, because a lot of times, no matter what you do, people never appreciate it. People never, they always, when they're stretching their hands, it's okay. But anytime you kind of said, you know what, enough, then all of a sudden you're the worst person on God's earth. But understand this, people. I'm encouraging people to do good, to live good, to give back, to help the neighbors, to help. But I don't want people to think that every focus should be on Miss Bev. I want you to do good where you are. And I'm doing my best where I am. All right? So love to all of you people. I am truly a person who loves other people. But as a teacher, I have, right this year, we have 50-something kids. And just think of when I go in, the box of fruit snacks is 90, right? So just understand that if I go in and I give every child one pack, it's not even going to last for 2 days, right? So I'm consistently replenishing. If you guys are not watching the ads on the videos, guess what? I don't get a check every month. So if you please just watch the videos, like, comment, share the videos, so that when I get that $100, that's where it goes, right back into my classroom. It's not about me. I'm okay. I work. I'm a teacher. And I've put in a lot of years. So I'm not a new teacher who is complaining about my salary. I put in the years, and so I'm okay. I am okay. But just to replenish and to give back to my children, it can become expensive. So support me, guys. Support the channel. Support the thing. If you give $1 a month, if you contribute $1 per month, send it to my Cash App or something. If you give $5 a month, I haven't seen you in a long time, Randolph. You're always just supporting. You're always sending, something to support. Sometimes I do a live and you miss the live, but then I look and, and I'm looking and I see a PayPal coming in. So people, support it. It's not about me. I don't go out and do crazy stuff with money. I really think I'm gonna die apart because I like to give back to my kids. And I see the need and I do have to. So go forth in love, people, and do the best you can where you are. Plant the seeds of kindness. Let them blossom and bloom into great things. And that's how it should be. Let it blossom and bloom. And again, remember, it's not about your wants. It's about needs. It's a difference in wanting something and difference in needing something. Let us focus on those things. And when we are reaching out, let us remember to reach out because of a need. It's not because we just want something. Because I'm not into that. I cut back on a lot of stuff because it's vanity and vexation of the spirit. That's what Solomon said. So people, I love you guys. I love you and thank you for supporting. Thank you for those of you who are watching and sharing and helping me get this thing going. I know this is our 2nd year into it. Mojo, Jojo, wherever you are, thank you. Terry, and again, I have to say thank you. And Maurice, consistently there. Ernestine, oh God, Bev Brown, I'm telling you, consistently. There's not a video that I've put out that you guys have not. Erin, every video I put out, you guys have been there. And there are others who have been, but you guys have been. Every video I can go and look back and see Mojo, Jojo, Terry, and Maurice, Bev Brown, Ernestine, you 5 people, every video. Did I say Erin? But you guys get it done. AG, I know you're busy, And all of you who have been there, please don't stop being there. Support, support, support. Now, it's going to be 1 hour. It's the longest I'm sitting here and talking. But take it easy, people. Love to you.